Episode 12 kicks off, and first I can finally reveal the gear the aerial Tana was guarding. This right here, rematch, one of a kind, evade and counter, and what that actually means is any physical attack that can be evaded will be evaded and punished. You dodge it, you hit back. No input, no mercy. This is gonna be a massive tool moving forward. And then there's the other pickup, Avenger. Already owned, but still worth mentioning. Counter attack on hit. You get touched, you hit back. Simple. But evade and counter, that's 10 steps ahead. In some battles, this straight up makes UG immune to physical damage. Auto pickup, no questions asked. Now Highbridge. This is the stretch where runs are made, characters are shaped, and copies of Final Fantasy X are quietly returned to the game store. Because this section does not care. You've got YKT-63s kicking you across the bridge, YAT-99s dropping nukes from distance, Machina moving faster than they look like they should. Try to close the gap on the YAT-99s. They respond by hitting harder. Pray for clutch evades? Sure, while monks are flamethrowing you in the background. Very spiritual of them. But this is important. There's a solution to everything here. This opening lineup, monks plus a solo YKT-63. You already know the answer. Petrify Grenade. The monks disappear. And with the YKT standing alone, we lean on one of the best pickups so far. Shaman Targe. Auto potions kick in. We trade turns. And every time, the YKT-63 drops burst. That's the easy part. Now comes the real problem. YKT in the front, yachts in the back. Here's the rule. Every attack can be survived if you guard. Up close, these yachts damage spike. No guard means nearly 2000 damage. Instant wipe. Now for full transparency, I don't have a footage of a clean clear here. My capture card started recording my second monitor. To be honest, it was probably trying to get away from these machinas. But the strategy still matters, so let me break down. The trick is slow. You slow the yachts before taking out the YKT. With haste and protect active, you have just enough time. Once the YKT is down, either with the fast move or using the evade and counter we just picked up, you step into the close combat. Guard. And eat the big hit. You survive, that's the key. Yes, you could throw a water gem at the yachts while they're still hiding behind the YKT, but those gems are precious. And trust me, we're going to need every single one of them later. Alright, you know me, I'm giving you the full content here. Here's the route to take down even the hardest encounter here on Highbridge. Firstly, I fed their UG up and Civil Hourglass the Machina to make the CDP less red. Then, the damage mitigation. I want to guard their turns here, and like I said, Shaman Targe is massive tool. I make sure I'm fully healed going into the yacht's turns. After yacht attacks, auto potion puts me right back into full HP. Now, I have all the time in the world. And I start beating down the front guy. And their turns, always guarded. These forbidden machinas, secretly used by Yevon, are definitely mean. Vicious, wicked, troublesome, nasty, you name it, but the bomb fragment takes the front guy out, and I move forward. And now, look at that CTB here. I don't even need protect buff here. I can work now them down with normal attacks and just make sure I guard their turn. This way, I cannot lose here. Flowchart engaged. High potions rolling in. With this strat, the lock gets cut off and the Yevon's underground machina falls. Justly. I even put on auto battle and start blitzing this last yacht down. With that thing stabilized, I had one more goal here. A grind. Who would have guessed we need to grind here? Because monks have a drop that almost no one talks about. They can drop a weapon. Yeah, keep in mind a weapon with magic counter. Magic counter is already rare. It appears later, but it's on an armor, not weapon. So naturally, I wanted it. I ran a few encounters, reset to conserve resources, Palin's Petrify Grenade usage with the attempts, and eventually it dropped. Prism Claw. A magic counter secured. And with that out of the way, there was only one thing left on my mind. I set my sights forward, across the bridge, toward Seymour Natus. Before we jump into this fight, let's talk about Seymour Natus, because this isn't just another boss, this is the Highbridge trademark wall. He comes with a hefty 3600 HP pool, he's not swinging, he's casting, uses multi-versions of spells like Blizzara, Thundara, Watera, and Fire. Magic defense and survival planning matters here. Once you drop him below 24,000 HP, Seymour shifts into his Protect plus Break phase, buffing himself while trying to petrify you, which is especially brutal because of his partner Mortibody will shatter any petrified character it hits. If that wasn't enough, below 12,000 HP, he starts using Flare, massive non-elemental damage that can easily one-shot characters that are not ready for it. Poison is worth inflicting here. Seymour can be poisoned, and that lets damage stick while you manage defense. That all being said, knowing the spell order, knowing the status immunities, what we can inflict and what we cannot inflict, all while keeping the phase thresholds in mind, this battle seems not impossible. With the haste already up, Mortibody's first spell goes straight into Yellow's Tart's arm. 0 damage. That gives me the opening I want, and I immediately poison Seymour, the good old ticking time bomb. Seymour follows up with a multi-Tandara, again straight into Yellow Tart's. No damage. So I rotate defenses to match the next spell in order. That's going to be Water. I throw Shell on. At this point, Mortibody's level 1 spells are really kind of pathetic. Next multi-Watera. The first hit drops me straight into Asua's range. The second hit automatically goes into... Game over? Hold on, let's rewind that. I know I had Asua's Nulltide equipped, so why did that kill me? Here's what's actually happening. Even though the first Watera drops me into SOS, the game treats Seymour's multispells as a single true action. That means the SOS effects are not allowed to activate in between hits. So I go into the second Watera completely unprotected. And that's the wipe. Armed with that knowledge, I reset for attempt 2. This time I make sure the Asua's elemental protection is already active before Seymour gets to cast anything. I open with Pomp Cores for damage, and now when the multi-spells come out, fully protected, no surprises this time. Back to the rotation, Yellow Targe back on, Pomp Core follow-up. That pushes Seymour into phase 2. Protect and break. Mortibody immediately starts flexing. Shattering Claw. So I swap my lightning-proof armor for a stone-proof piece from a Jose Road. From here on now, Seymour is going to try to petrify me, and it's just not happening. I start using water gems to push damage quickly. Break does literally nothing to me now. Albert Potions keep UG healthy. Shattering Claw connects for 166 damage. I'll take that all day. More water gems, nice 3000 damage chunks off Seymour's HP. Well, they can hit Mortibody, but we'll get to that later. Another pitiful Shattering Claw. I check Seymour's HP, 13,911. We're getting close to the 12k threshold, and I want control going into the phase 3. So I set up a 2 Pomp Cores, take one more clean rotation through phase 2, and push him into the phase 3 with another water gem. One more important thing here, any damage sent to Mortibody comes back to you when it drains 4,000 HP from Seymour. So water gems actually refund value if they hit the wrong target. And that drain lines up perfectly here. Now, I want this phase over fast because this is Flare territory. I equip my best survival option and Flare comes out. 1,033 damage. Barely survived. Without HP boosts, that's a one-shot. Mortibody starts healing Seymour. Albert Potion into Water Gem it is. And going back to that Flare, because I forgot my stamina tablets back in Moonflow, those HP boosts actually came super crucial. Again, Flare is non-elemental, and that 1033 would have just been enough. More Cura, 4,958. Mortibody's keeping him annoyingly healthy now. Poison Fangs come out next. Another Flare. 1,037. Again, just barely enough to survive. Another roll like that without HP boosts ends the run. And as I'm speaking, you can already tell, Seymour Natus drops to the final tick of poison. Fight's over. Victory obtained. He drops a Shell Shield, which is funny because I already own Asua's Shell. But at this point, I'll take the message more than the item. Before we run into the Calmlands, I had to do one thing first. Fix a mistake I made earlier. And that mistake was forgetting the damn stamina tablets. So I turn back towards Quetta Salam, only to be reminded that, story-wise, you can't come here. Too scary, too tense. Which means we can forget those tablets in the Moonflow. Instead, we'll be getting them later from a fiend, a very suspicious, pot-shaped individual, hiding in the cavern of the Stolen Faith. Remember that? With that dream gone, I start stealing instead because I'm running low on resources. Thunder Plains feels comfortable now, which is not something I ever thought I'd say. Just gotta make sure that I don't release too many Quacktuars into the field because then they start packing a punch if there's 3 of them. I fill the backpack with essentials, then I take a quick detour through Macalania Woods for a few extras. I pick up another Lucid Ring, but it's weaker than the Weaporifical one, and then it's time to step into the grass, the Calm Lands. You know, the place that sounds peaceful, and absolutely is not. Here the game makes its point. Bad Breath, Stone Gaze, Heavy Hitters, Sonic Tails, Firaga, Fast Moving Fiends, Poison, and just to spice things up, a brand new status effect. Berserk. Welcome. I congratulate you, Summoner. You have completed your pilgrimage. Okay, it's not time for that yet. First encounter here, Skull, Flame Flan, and a Mech Scouter. I get 2 turns to start things up, so Sleeping Powder goes out immediately. The Mech's immune, no problem. Still removes its parts. Now for the good stuff. Skull gives us Dream Powders, Sleeping Powders, much scarier Big Brother, and the Flame Flan blesses us with a Fire Gem Steals. Massive pickups. Take out the Skull, then freeze the Flan and clean up. Strong start. Next lineup, Nibiru's, Shred, and another Flan. Sleeping Butter again at the start. And the entire formation is either already in the far plane or dreaming about how they'll get there. When I hit Shred, I think, okay, big magic defense, maybe wrong element. Nope, Water does 16 damage. 16 damage. He's built diffy, so we go old school. Stone Touch, problem solved. At this point, we already know what's gonna happen to the Flan. Next encounter, I finally test Skull's Treasure properly. Dream Powder. The sleeping version did around 700 damage earlier. This one breaks the 1000 damage mark. Even better, every single one I throw, I steal back in the same encounter. I set myself into an SOS HP for even more turns, and I can now sit back on my chair. Then I visit a shop that's easy to miss if you're not careful. Rinse Travel Agency, which is either snowmobile or a helicopter, or whatever that guy felt like parking there that day. Let's take a look. Some decent magic and strength boosts. The buckler with the magic counter, something I already talked about, but now it's finally available as an armor. The Savior Bangle also looks tempting. Lots of useful proofs. And the last piece of gear here, we already saved its full price back in Weaporifical. That's a clean 10,000 gil saved. So what do I buy? Just a buckler. And nothing else. A few basic encounters follow. Looking back to those shelves in that shop, the Savior Bangle would have been 2 birds with 1 stone. Silence proof and stone proof in 1 slot. But I already have those spread across different armors. Let's see if that decision comes back to bite me. Fire Flans here can drop Fire Proof, which would be massive. For a moment, I think I landed it early. Nope, just a ward. So close. The beginning of the Calmlands can feel a little bit repetitive, but once I secure a safe, I move left, where the real monsters live. Another shop pops up. Mostly, this shop only has basic gear, but I do grab here 1 piece. The piercing weapon with the plus 10 strength. Kimaris and Aeons are priced the same, so obviously we pick Aeons for reasons. After saving, I run into 2, here it comes, Coeurals. Silence shuts down a huge part of their kit, so there's a good chance they don't do much at all here, at least not in the beginning. This is also where I start leaning heavily into the new tool, Fire Gems. Massive damage, fast execution. After a few throws, 1 finally goes down. But then I remember something I read earlier. Once a Coeurl drops below 50% HP, it unlocks Blaster and Drain. Blaster means petrification, which I'm already ready for thanks to Stoneproof. I attack, eat the Drain, and finish the fight with a bomb fragment. And I start the winning streak. Next up, Ogre with 2 skulls. Dream Powder straight into their eyes. Fire Gems for damage. Then I bring out the Dark Attack. I don't know why I did that. Dukes up, normal physicals. If I would do a normal attack, it would counter-attack me hard. So we lean into Poison Fangs, because poison is always valuable. As you know once said, the people or the friends that we have lost, or the Poison Fangs we have thrown, never forget them. Was that the line? I don't remember. Then come 2 chimeras, and their opening moves are completely random. Something we've already discussed multiple times. I equip lightning proof, haste up, and go for the double setup, stone and darkness. Darkness lands. 1 chimera opens with Thundara. Perfect. The other one chooses a normal attack. It's like I controlled them. I tried to stone touch the second one, and it doesn't land. Yeah, my luck was stretched way too thin here. So I pull the emergency button. Petrify grenade. 1 shot. They drop an Onyx shield, and honestly, it's pretty good. See what I did there? And then Malboro, the dreaded fiend. I haste up and equip the reaperifical gear with the triple status swords. Because Bad Breath is the threat here. I debate how to chunk its HP and settle on fire gems. The amount of turns I'm getting here is absolutely insane. I got time for haste, equipment switch, and 3 fire gem throws. And then it's your turn, Marlboro. And it uses a normal attack and one-shots me. Yeah, I completely underestimated its raw physical damage. Lesson learned. The Calmlands are wide open now, but we're not done here. Next episode, we're taking down the last of these heavy hitters. And for the first time in this run, we start monster capturing.